Until recently, developments of technology and innovation have been restricted to Western countries. But with the rise in innovations in the third world economies, the trend has gradually transcended to the African continent. Nigeria is taking the lead in advancing this developmental drive, especially with a sharp drop in prices of crude oil, which plunged the economy into recession. Following the ever-increasing quest for diversification of the economy, the Buhari-led administration is encouraging technology and innovations in the areas of science and technology in the formal and informal sectors of the economy. It was for this reason that the Vice President Yemi Osibona embarked on a roadshow in the Silicon Valley last month. I'm now being joined by the Senior Special Advisor to the President on ICT, Mr. Lanre Osibona, to give us more details on what the government is actually doing. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Osibona.
Thank you very much, Chimize.
So tell me, what is the thrust of the government for making IT a source of wealth in its diversification drive?
Okay, thank you. So just a quick correction, Senior Special Assistant to the President on ICT.
Senior Special Assistant.
Thank you. Yes, I think this is just a follow-up on the conversations and the approach of government. What was always said and what we've done as part of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, the ERGP, was to definitely diversify the economy, look at how we create as many jobs as possible, and how do we also improve on revenue earnings in terms of Forex. The technology sector is a key role in that regard, and we focus a lot of attention on it. We've actually put a lot of investment in that regard as well. Personally, you have people like myself and others in the Office of the Vice President working closely on this. So one of the areas is that we want to take advantage of this fourth industrial revolution, actually make it our own revolution. Massive opportunities for job creation. If you look at the world as it is today, if you look at the top performers in the international index and the NASDAQ, you will find at least 3 or so leading technology companies leading on that index. And the list goes on, you know, from the Apple, from the Amazon, from the Microsoft, from the Google, from Facebook. That shows the trend of the world. Now, what we're saying back home is, let's also make Nigeria a skills hub, a skilled workforce hub for the global industry. The beauty is that a lot is actually ongoing quietly, but we still have to scale that numbers. I think today in Nigeria, what you have is roughly about 2,000 developers that are very active in the freelance market. When you look at Facebook as a company, just one company, has in excess of the 34,000 employees, have 17,000 being developers. So you can see the difference and the work that we have to do. The beauty of this is it creates a massive opportunities for young people. It's exciting, but also it's a massive revenue generating. But more so, as we have entrepreneurs that are creating their own space and creating their own opportunities, they have the skills to work with. Because the challenge we've had over the time has been lack of skills, lack of competence, lack of capacity. We want to change that mindset. That has to change. Today we're losing revenue in terms of having to import skill sets. Today we're losing revenue in terms of participating in the global competitive space. Look at the way the Indian has played in terms of technology and development and having the developer cycle, which is mature. You look at what China is doing. You know, remember Apple CEOs talking about focusing on China, not necessarily because China is cheap, but because China has massive skill sets. We have to do the same. Nigeria is even cheaper in that regard, but we need to develop that skill set. That's why you have, you know, we taking a person in the capacity of the vice president to Silicon Valley. The message is to say we are very serious about this. We're focused on it. We want you to come and see what we're doing. We already put an investment in place. There's a 10 billion fund that's been put together by the Bank of Industry. 2 billion already been put in place to support that ecosystem. Come and invest with us. And also, we'll not even look at this just in the area of technology alone. We're looking at it as part of the creative sector, because a big part of the challenge they face in the creative sector is a challenge around how to use technology. So how do you distribute your content? The problem with content today that you have in Nollywood is a challenge around piracy. So we can tackle piracy with law enforcement, but also we'll need to look at more innovative ways of tackling this. Distribution. How do we distribute content directly to the users
Now, would you talk about digital economy without talking about infrastructure? And you and I know that infrastructure is a major problem here in Nigeria, particularly power. So how can you talk about technology without adequate power supply?
Yes. I mean, yes, you're absolutely spot on. But I will go beyond power. I think even just the actual infrastructure in itself, the base stations and the devices and the big equipment. See, the truth about power today is there are solutions for power. There are off-grid solutions for power. What is very critical is the business case supporting investment in digital infrastructure. Once the business case is there, you will have the investment come in. Because today, what the NCC, the Nigerian Communications Commission, is doing in terms of trying to harmonize the spectrum space, the spectrum trading is the new policy, which actually is a great policy because there's limited spectrum, but how do we make the most of it? So one of the things they've done is to allow for those that will have the investment to gain advantage to use spectrum. What we're doing is, so when I talk about content delivery, delivering education, and creating that whole skills base, that whole ecosystem that has the need, brings the business case to play. So I won't look at it just from a power. I look at it from what do we do in terms of the money that we put up front, the tax rebate, the pioneer status that we're offering to companies that will come and invest. They will put investment. If you look at the guys in the manufacturing today, they don't really, yeah, power is a challenge. I'm not taking away from that. But they don't necessarily will raise power as an issue because they will solve the power problem with their own standalone independent power solution. And that's the same case you will have. Solar is actually revolutionizing that space. So what we must focus on is we have to create that capacity. We have to encourage a lot of these young people, but we have to show success also. You look at what the flutterway.
What have you put in place? Yeah, because talking about encouraging the young people, that's human capacity development.
Indeed.
And of course, I remember at the last World Bank IMF meeting, the World Bank president actually noted that you cannot talk about digital economy without investing in human capital.
Absolutely.
So how have this government been able to channel their resources towards investing in human capital?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me start from one of the programs that I'm sure you're very well aware of. If you look at our N-Power program, that's targeting 500,000, giving them devices. Part of a bigger aspect of that is taking them from the standard knowledge they have into a more digital environment in the learnings, in agri-extension workers, in being classroom teachers, in being health support workers, but getting all the training on a tablet. That is opening up the opportunities for them. Also including on that tablet are tools, applications that helps them on their own time to learn more and to get certification. That's one. If you look at what we're doing in terms of the collaboration with hubs across the country, you must have had a number of the visits the vice president has done, meeting with private hub owners who are partnering with them, or supporting them. There's one in Adamawa. There's just one that I think last week we were in Lagos, the Lagos Business School, the Climate Innovation Hub. Those are what government is doing, partnering. So we don't want to go the direction of government setting up hubs by itself because that's a recipe for failure. But we're partnering with the private sector, supporting them where it's necessary, and ensuring that there is continuity and sustainability of such hubs. So those are the real opportunities. But more than anything else, what we're also ensuring is in the software development space. So we're speaking to international OEMs. Those are international, the likes of the Google, the Facebook, the Microsoft, on investing in Nigeria so that the opportunities are created. So they're looking at our own young people that have the opportunity, open up that space for them to participate. See, the beauty also, what is good for us as a country is if you look at Nigeria as a brand, Nigerians as a brand, in international community, in the US and the Western world, they're actually well known for technology. So we need to ride in that wave. We need to bring that home whereby we become a hub. The opportunity for job creation in terms of global freelance market is just immense. It's immense. I see a picture of 200,000 developers out of Nigeria, young people. You know of a company called Andela. We're supporting companies like that to see how do we make it as easy as possible for them, innovative regulatory policies to ensure that we remove all the roadblocks, all the barriers. That's what government has to do. Government must create that enabling environment. Business will come in. We have energetic, young, entrepreneurial Nigerians, skilled Nigerians. We now need to give them the opportunities so that they use it positively. And that's the mandate, that's the focus of this government. You know very well, just again, I think that was last week, we launched with Google the free Wi-Fi across. What that does is, talking to your point, if you get access to internet, because a lot of people can't afford it, but they want to learn, we're giving them the opportunity for free Wi-Fi. We want to encourage a lot of the other Nigerian players. 21st Century, a local indigenous company, is a big player in that regard. BCN, a local indigenous company, is a big player in that regard. What this means for them is they also are going to grow. I mean, I went visiting 21st Century, and I was absolutely amazed. This is world-class institution setting up the right environment, putting the right infrastructure, and we will support them. So that's I doubt if any other administration is giving as much focus to technology as what we're doing.